from Melbourne, Middlesex, London.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my questions to the Premier. Premier, as you travelled the province during the election, you're greeted by wind turbine protesters in almost every rural riding.
Yep.
Obviously, these Ontarians are fed up. They've watched their pristine rural landscapes destroyed by costly wind turbines that carry a myriad of consequences. You have said that you wanted to improve the approval process for wind developments to allow for more local input. However, you stated on numerous occasions that you remain fully committed to wind turbines, and the fact that you have not given municipalities the final say over wind turbine development indicates to me that this promise is more smoke and mirrors than anything else. Yep. Premier, which is it? Do you want to continue to push unwanted wind farms in rural communities, or will you finally step up and give local municipalities a true say in their communities?
Let's do it.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think we just need to be clear. I mean, what is happening is the OPA is creating the Ontario Power Authority is creating a new competitive bidding process in which projects that have the support of local communities will be given priority. So when we said that we were going to work with communities and make sure that there was much more buy-in, that municipalities would have a greater say in citing renewable energy projects, that's exactly what we have done, Mr. Speaker. That's exactly what we've done, and in fact, the OPA and the IESO have engaged with municipalities, with First Nations leaders, with community associations, and with others to get that input. So that's the work that was done in order to come up with a process that actually weights those projects that have community buy-in. What the member opposite is asking for is a veto, and the member opposite is basically saying he doesn't support the renewable energy industry. We know that, Mr. Speaker, but we do, and we know how important it is for the future of the province.
Thank you. Supplementary.
To go back to the Premier. Premier, I'm asking for the veto for our municipalities, just like rural Ontario vetoed the Liberals.
Hear, hear.
Premier, the West End of my riding borders on the Chatham-Kent region, where residents have had hundreds of turbines forced upon them. Those in my riding who live in West Elgin and Dutton, look to the west and fear the same thing will happen to them. In fact, there's a developmental proposal currently on the table. Residents in West Elgin fear for their health, they fear for their property values, and they fear for the destruction of the social fabric. It's one of the reasons West Elgin Council voted to be an unwilling host of this development. Also, municipality Dutton Dunwich issued a survey to area residents. 84% of the residents do not want wind turbines in Dutton Dunwich. Clearly, it's an unwanted project. Premier, will you listen to the will of the local municipalities, or do you think the people in my riding are just wrong?
Well, let me first say that I would love to introduce the member opposite to some of our new members and the members who represent the rural constituents, for example, in Northumberland, Quinte West, and in Durham, Mr. Speaker, and Glengarry, Prescott, Russell. I'm sure that there are some rural members who would feel there's some rural constituents who would feel quite insulted by the comments of the member opposite. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that we have made changes to the process. We have consulted with communities across the province, and the OPA is putting in place a competitive bidding process that actually weights the siting of projects towards municipalities that are open to them and are interested in having them, Mr. Speaker. I have said in this House that if I could roll back the clock and we could have had that process from the beginning, Mr. Speaker, that would be a good thing. But the fact is we can't. We need to have a process that takes those concerns into account now. That's what we have, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to work with municipalities to make sure that we have a renewable industry in this province, that we have the cleanest air and the cleanest energy anywhere. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.